Okay, welcome everyone to our Starbase Centaur 4210 YouTube channel. And we have a special guest to make a special announcement. I'm here in front of my tree because I didn't take my tree down because I do the Three Kings thing. I come a very Catholic family, so we gotta just keep that tree up for the whole Three Kings celebration. But also, I left my tree up because this guest that we have has brought unto us a wonderful announcement about an upcoming exciting event that he wants us involved in. So without further ado, I bring to you Mr. Dan Deevy from Gaaays in Space, and he's going to talk about his wonderful organization and this amazing event they have coming up. So take it away, sir.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. It's great to be here, and it's so great to see you again. It's so funny. We're in the same city, and we rarely get to see each other's faces. So this is wonderful. It's great to see you. So for anyone who doesn't know Gaaays in Space, we are a nonprofit organization. We've been around for we're going on 7 years now. And when we were founded, our goal was to advocate for the inclusion of underrepresented communities in science fiction storytelling, particularly LGBTQIA plus individuals who, it took over 50 years for us to appear in Star Trek as just plain old humans who happen to be, members of our community. And so that's where it began. And it began with one party in Las Vegas. And I thought that's where it was going to end. But it turned out that so many people felt the same way that I felt when I saw in the movie Star Trek Beyond, all of a sudden Sulu was gay with a husband and a daughter. And in that moment, I existed. In that moment, I finally was a part of this world that I truly based who I am, my moral compass, the way that I kind of see humanity on this show. Yes. And the whole time the show was saying like, good for you. You don't really exist though. But then we finally did. I finally did. So I threw this party and I said, look, even if it's only myself and 2 or 3 friends raising a toast to this historic moment, I'm good with that. So many people came to it. Nana Visitor came as our first special guest. And she said to me, Dan, I can come, but I can probably only stay for like 20 minutes. And I said, oh my God, just having you there was amazing. Right. Thank you. She stayed for 3.5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Had to put her in a car back to the convention center because she had photos to do in the morning.
Right. Oh.
And the next day she found me on the convention floor and said, Dan, whenever you do that again, I'm there. Right. And I said, if Nana Visitor will come to parties that I throw, guess what I do for a living now? I throw parties.
Okay.
And so that was 7 years ago. We've done over 200 events all across the country on Star Trek The Cruise, 3 years in a row. And we just recently, we have entered what we call phase 2 of Gaaays in Space, which is we are now working to bring that future to life today, because first you need representation. Like, do you know there's an expression, if you can't see it, you can't be it, And so the way that Nichelle Nichols inspired Whoopi Goldberg to become Whoopi Goldberg, this was finally done for us. So that was phase 1. Phase 2 is we are now working with actual space industry companies, aerospace companies, and we are just about to launch within the next, 2 or 3 days. We're launching the Gaaays in Space Inclusive Space Academy Scholarship Fund, where we are sending LGBTQIA plus kids to Space Academy. Awesome. So we're hoping, we open we open that door for them, you know, that they consider locked, that they can't, you know, we open it, they step through, and all of us benefit, you know, from that.
That's so powerful.
Thank
and
you.
It's so important. It's so important. I grew up in a Star Trek family. I mean, it was just like you had no choice. Okay, my dad, my mom, my auntie, my uncles, my grandparents, big Star Trek fans, and I will always hear my mom and aunties talk about how, you know, Nichelle Nichols and her role just impacted and changed so much about the perception of women of color. So I've had discussions about this, and you're totally correct. So much of Star Trek impacts our lives and affects how we view the world. So it's so important to see that which we love, our favorite fandom, reflect all of us and who we are in all of our communities. It's so important. And you're right, if you can't see it, you can't be it, because the charity work that I do, I'm always working with a lot of children from underserved communities, and they need to see people who are educated, professional, successful, who can share with them, help tutor them, help, you know, talk with them about the world, and let them know what exists outside of their community and outside their environment. And this gives them something to reach for and to stretch for. So what you guys is doing, you know, I've always admired your huge charity, you know, aspect of your group, because so many fan groups say, you know, it's great to get around the bar, hang out, have parties, but I've always been a community person. I grew up in a house where, you know, we do charity. And we would do charity on Christmas morning and then come back and open presents. It was like that. Okay, definitely. My family was all about the charity.
I need to come to Christmas next year with your family, because you clearly grew up with the family that I wished I had had. That's incredible. What a beautiful message to give your children, and what a beautiful household to grow up in.
Yes, exactly. And it's like our parents, we would sit and watch Star Trek episodes, and, you know, like the kissing scenes with Kurt, you know, my mother would put her hand on my, you know. But the beautiful part is that even so, after every Star Trek episode that our parents let us watch, there was a discussion. Like, what did you get from the episode? What did the episode say to you? What did you learn? What did you like? What did you not like? And it's so interesting that we would have these discussions at a very young age. And as I grew up, then I would start having these discussions with my kids, with my nieces and nephews. And then my kids that I would tutor, I would show a Star Trek episode that I know they could relate to. And they would be like, oh my God, this is Star Trek, because they didn't realize that it's something that they could actually relate to. And then we would have these discussions about, you know, what we saw in the real world. How does it relate to us in the real world? So that whole desire to connect to the young people, okay, and to bring Star Trek to them and what it's about and what it means and what it represents is so awesome. When I see groups like yours do this on a constant basis, it's real to you guys. It's not something that you do. Some people do charity because we do charity because it gets us attention, but you guys do charity because that's in your heart, soul, and it's your passion. And that's what I so love about what you guys do. So thank you for all that you do. And I, you know, just keep me posted. You know me, I'll blast it all over the place. That's just so wonderful. So that's part one, juiciness. Let's get to part two, juiciness. Tell us about this awesome thing that you guys have been planning for a long time. Okay, let it go.
So here we go. This announcement I've been waiting to make pretty much my entire professional career. For the first 20 years of my career, I was an entertainment journalist, celebrity interviewer. I would go to conventions. I would go to events like that. And I would walk around saying, that's not how you do it. I would do this different. When Gaaays in Space began and I saw what it was becoming, this is what I've wanted to tell the world. And here it is. Gaaays in Space first 3-day-long convention is happening May 5th through the 7th, 2023 at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in downtown Philadelphia. We already have, as of taping on January 11th, we already have 15 celebrity guests confirmed from Star Trek and the Orville, with many more to be announced. In fact, we just confirmed, but can't announce yet, an actor from the series Killjoys and from The Expanse.
Okay.
So we are getting a bunch of different fandoms, and it would not be a Gaaays in Space event without the other side, which is we are bringing astronauts. We are bringing leaders in the space industry. And all of this is focused around making sure that underrepresented communities will no longer be known as underrepresented in a few years, because the representation needs to be there. Kids need to be shown, hey, look, if you really want to pursue a career in STEM and aerospace, come with us. Come over here. And more than that, we hope to create enough of a safe space for the kids that people currently working in the space industry who are not out, who are closeted, who are fearful of what that would mean to be their true selves, suddenly will be able to. So the way that I think of this event, and I know it's going to sound cheesy, it's going to sound like a line, but anyone who really knows me knows that I'm being very sincere about this. And it is that we are not here to make money. We're here to make a difference. That's the point. And we can make a difference by giving a fan a very personal experience with one of their heroes. Not you wait online for 2 hours. You go to a table, they have 20 seconds max to talk to you as they sign something. Or my God, if you do a photo op, run in, I don't know, 3 seconds flat. 3 seconds flat.
That's how it is,
So what we want is to have everyone who comes to this event leave with a story that when they tell it, people know, oh, you were at DNICon. You were at Gaaays in Space first convention, because things like that don't happen at other conventions. Oh, I didn't even say the name. My bad. So the name of the convention is the Galactic DNICon, the Galactic Diversity and Inclusion Convention. And so now I am going to give you some, I haven't told you about this yet. This is a surprise for you too. So one of the unique things that we're doing at DNICon, we're calling actor away missions. And actor away missions are going to be separately ticketed events where one of our celebrities hosts a group, an activity for 24 fans, so small, intimate. So we'll have 24 fans that will pay the extra ticket price to go do this activity. 6 more fans will be added onto that group because they have entered a contest, and the people who win the contest will be able to do a pay what you like ticket price. So that way, these very personal, very kind of unique experiences will not be limited only to people who can afford to pay that extra ticket price. Because as much as I would love to make everything free, I mean, everyone else planning this convention with me is like, Dan, I get it, Roddenberry, but have you seen the world we live in? Like, we gotta charge something, man.
Yes, I know. It's hard.
So the very first actor away mission that we are announcing that goes on sale actually today is a little thing called Batleths for Beginners. A stage combat class taught by a martial arts expert and Klingon swordsman and J.G. Hertzler and Bob O'Ryan.
Oh, nice.
So everyone who goes to this class, you are given a foam batleth.
Right.
You are taught how to properly stage combat with this foam batleth. And Chancellor Martok and Chancellor Gowron will be jumping in, and they'll be doing, but they will also mainly be like the Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets, commenting on everything. And, you know, like, I never held it like that, and you could never fight. You lost a war.
They're funny. They're funny.
Such a blast. They are such a blast.
They are a blast.
At the end of the class, it'll be a little over an hour. At the end of the class, the actors sign everyone's batlets.
Oh my God.
Take a big group photo with the actors and their swords. And everyone will be presented with an Order of the Bat'leth medal by Bob O'Reilly using the Gowron eye, saying, "Glory to you and your house." You know.
That is awesome. Oh my God. Sign up for that class.
That's just the first. That is just the first. Wow. We are planning
great ideas.
Something similar for all of our guests.
Okay.
All of our celebrity guests.
Wow. That's nice. That's really awesome, because it almost reminds me, like, on the cruise. I only went on the cruise once, and they had the actor-led off the ship activities.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. So you guys, like, share with us, like, when did this idea happen? When did this vision come into being? And, like, what inspired you? Was it just seeing things go on at other conventions and you realize, hey, I can do something a little bit better, a little bit different, a little bit more personable? Like how did it all get started?
It was a lot of what you just said. Yes, we, you know, because we have had such an incredible time doing our events at other people's conventions and events. Like, you know, we've done Star Trek Las Vegas every year for the past, I mean, it began at Star Trek Las Vegas. So for the last 7 years, you know, we've been there doing it. And, you know, we love being there. We love being with the fans. And it's amazing. The problem that we encounter is that after a while, you get a little weary of being the group that is simply invited into someone else's party, you know? Because, you know, I'll be honest, sometimes the diversity angle is hot and it's embraced. And then there are years when it's not. And for us to have to rely on the fickle nature of companies that truly exist to make a profit above all else, that really stops our ability to continue to grow and to do more, you know, and every year we have been able to, because people respond to what we do and they tell their friends. I mean, on last year's cruise, we did a Trekkie Feud, which is my favorite thing we do.
Yes.
And is, you know, our most well-attended, like, staged event. And so last year we did it on the cruise, and the cruise does their big game show, which is Trek Squares, like Hollywood Squares of Star Trek. And they do theirs in the biggest auditorium on the ship. We did ours in probably the second largest, maybe, I'm not sure. We had more people come to Trekkie Feud than went to Trek Squares.
Okay.
And that is not me saying,
that's awesome.
Sirach Lofton played. Sirach Lofton was one of our celebrity team captains. And when it was over, he came over and said that to me. And I later found out it wasn't even a standing room only situation. People could not get in to the space. Like, they had to make people leave because of fire hazards.
Right.
And I just thought, okay, we need to be in the big house. We need to be in the big theater, because people really getting it, and they won't let us. They won't. You know, there's only so far that organizations like that are willing to go, you know? And because of our newfound friends in the aerospace industry, for the first time ever, other organizations are coming to us and they're saying, how do we help you do more? Right. What do you need to get bigger? What's your next step? What do you see? And they become a part of us. And Darlene, I'm sure you know this, but people don't spend money. They just don't. Oh my God, I love what you're doing. It's like, really? May I have $5? Ooh, no, I don't love it that much. I don't love it that much.
You're right. You are so correct. I know what you mean.
But now people are putting their money where their mouths have been, and it has enabled us to plan this convention, and
sponsorship.
Sponsorship, that's what does it. It's the only way. And we have gotten, so far, all of the money that we have put together to pay for, like, the deposit on the convention center, on securing the hotel rooms for the actors, and all of that has come from donations from individual members of the Gaaays in Space family. Right. That have said, now we're working on the big guys. We're working on, many of whom have said, yeah. Oh, we're in. I'm just like, well, let's let the check clear before I celebrate. But it's been so amazing that it's the reason we can do this is because people who are just like us, who feel like you feel, feel like I feel, are saying, this is so worth it. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have $1 billion, but I do have this. Please take this and do what you do. And which is why I have given my solemn word that I will not rest until this event is everything that it can be, and it can be so much. Be so much. So
3 days too. There's so much to look forward to. It's going to be bumping, it's going to be activities ongoing. That's what it's about. We come to conventions, we want to escape, we want to just go full force into our fandom, and people do want something different. But someone like me that's going, like, I've gone to the Las Vegas convention this will be my 18th year, and I was going, I know, and I was just going with my my brother, my friends and stuff. I took care of my mom for 17 years. So I never really got to go anywhere and do anything. So going to the Star Trek convention, the first one was a gift from my family, because they were like, okay, it's time for you to now go. Like, my mom ascended, my family's like, okay, it's time for you to now, live, now go and travel. So they said, okay, well, the Star Trek convention that you're always talking about, you want to go to, we got tickets, hotel and plane, everything. So I was like, okay. And then I started, like, making friends. And then when you make friends, then on Facebook, then you want to go again and then again, and you make more friends, you keep going again. So it's just like a huge family reunion now. It's like, we look forward to seeing the actors and everything, but we look forward to seeing each other. And the fan groups, the fan groups is like, also a big family that we look forward to hanging out with. And so I've always loved going to the Star Trek conventions, and I've seen the Gaaays in Space at other conventions. And so when you go to these other conventions and you see your favorite fan groups, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going now. That kind of thing, So to see you guys, it's like you always are like reinventing yourselves and going to the next level, and doing a convention where you can be free to envision like what you want to do and how you want to organize and how you want to structure it and what you want to give to the people. And then, like how you're saying, you want to have things a little bit different where it's not always about the money and who can get the biggest ticket, but making sure that you can give that memorable experience to everybody, no matter what ticket price they get, no matter what day they come, no matter if they come for the weekend, everyone's going to walk away with an amazing experience and an amazing feeling. So that's just really awesome. And I thank you so much for sharing this with us. And for all of you who are listening, now comes another big announcement that I'm going to make. Woo-hoo! Drum roll. The first, say Dan the first. Say Dan the first.
The First.
The first.
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 First. No, first. Definitely. First.
First. FIRST. The first person to comment that wants to go to this con. Please don't comment if you're not going to the con. The first person who wants to go to this con and who comments will get 2 free Saturday tickets. Okay, 2 free Saturday tickets. The first, you better comment something nice too. The first person who comments something nice, who wants to go to this con, will get.
Could you? Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Don't play
if
with
the
me. We're
first
from New York. We don't play this. We're from New York.
Wait, could you imagine if the first comment was queers? It's like, oh, you ain't getting those tickets. You ain't getting those tickets.
And then they'll be like, oh, but you said the first person. You didn't say we had to comment something nice. I'm like, oh, see, now I have to get New York on you. So,
I love it.
It should be detailed with the public, right? They want to sue you and everything.
Yeah. It's amazing how meticulous people get when they want to tear you apart somehow. It's just like, oh my God, can't you just either say something nice or go in the other room, for God's sakes? Like,
I think you shouldn't have to mention that, right? But yes, you do have to be very, very meticulous for people who, like you said, they're meticulous about destroying you. But yes, the first person who wants to go to this con, who comments something nice on our YouTube channel about this wonderful discussion, will get 2 free Saturday tickets. Yay! Okay. So I look forward to seeing who's going to comment and everything like that. And I look forward to hearing more about what's going to be happening and the upcoming guests. And thank you so much for reaching out to us to ask us to get involved. And we're going to do more advertising for this, especially as we determine like how we're going to be involved in this wonderful convention for the Starbase and for the New York City Star Trek meetup. So we'll be posting more about the convention, and we may even give away some more tickets because maybe our sponsors will want to get involved, okay? And giving away some support, what's going on with the community. It's so awesome to see people that we've known for years doing more and more, and it inspires the others. It inspires all of us to say, hey, what more can I do? We have dreams, we have visions, we don't know where to get started sometimes, but just looking at other people and everything. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, follow those who faith and patience have inherited the promises. So when you follow other groups who are doing wonderful things in the community and are constantly, like I said, reinventing themselves and building themselves up and doing more and taking that bold step, going boldly. They may not be so sure, they only have to figure it out, but they're just going to go ahead and go for it anyway. And so many of us are kind of like, scared and intimidated. We want to, but we don't know what we can really do. Like even this, I never envisioned myself interviewing people and talking to people. I'm more of a meetup person. Like I can talk for days face to face, but this talking like this right here, I never, and people would push me to do this for years. Darlena, get a YouTube channel. Darlena, do podcasts. I'm like, oh no, I can't, please. I just couldn't do it. And when I first tried, I was very nervous. But then 2020 came and like you had to do the virtual stuff because you had to keep your group together. We weren't meeting live, so we had no other choice but to do virtual. So then I became a little bit more comfortable with it and everything. So, and doing this channel at first I was scared to invite you. I'm like,
really? Well, I have to say, don't look now, but you're really good at this. Like,
thank you.
You're very good at this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this feels great, and the back and forth and everything. Like, and it's not easy. A lot of people will think, well, sure, I'll do a podcast. Sure, I'll do a video. It's like, hey, girls, calm down. This is not as easy as you might think. So good on you. You're doing really well. And
it's so interesting because it's like I've gotten pushed because the first major Star Trek entertainer I ever interviewed was when we were on the Meredith Vieira show with George Takei. And backstage, after the show, we were all talking and everything like that, and we had this great discussion, and we were asking them questions. There was about 50 Star Trek fans, and they came from all over, including Columbia University Star Trek convention. Hey, Columbia University! So they have a great like sci-fi club. So we pulled a lot of the students from there, and then the marketing guy and I was just going around calling all these different Star Trek groups to invite them to come to the show. And I see these actors in Vegas and everything, and I can talk to them there, but it's a whole different aura when you're on a syndicated show, and Meredith Vieira was there, and George Takei is there, and it's like, okay, I got to keep it cool. I get my military bearing. My knees are getting weak, that kind of thing. And then the second Star Trek actor I ever interviewed was, of course, iconic Nichelle Nichols at the convention. My heart, okay, it's just amazing. And I didn't want to do that. And my partner, Adina Venez, she was like, come on, you're doing this with us. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, okay, you ask the questions, I'll just sit there. And we were with Michael Nunez, and I was like, okay, Michael, I'll hold the paper and I'll hold it this way. You can ask the questions. And they was like, no, Darlene, you're going to ask this lady at least one question. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just so wonderful, so wonderful. So when I see you and I see the others, it just really encourages me and inspires me. And thank you so much for all of your fine encouragement throughout the years that we've known each other, and the way you push the meetup, and you always reach out to us and get us involved in things. And we thank you so much for that. So we are definitely looking forward to this. And I definitely look forward to hearing more about it. And like I said, everyone, this is the first go round. This is not the end. We're going to be giving some more information about the con and keeping you posted and giving away some more tickets. Okay. Thank you. And you have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. You too. This has been amazing. I love you.
Thank you. Love you. Everyone, take care of yourself. Stay warm. And remember, continue to live your best life. Bye-bye.